So previewing the upcoming games versus the Port Huron Prowlers on Friday, on Sock Out Cancer Night, and the Danbury Hat-Tricks in Danbury on Saturday night. The Binghamton Black Bears are on top of the Empire Division with a 39-5-2 record, 116 points. They were the first team to clinch a playoff spot. The Black Bears have scored a league-high 247 goals and only allowed 113. The Port Huron Prowlers are in second place in the Empire Division with a 29-14-1 record, which is insane if you look at it to me. From first to second is a 10-game difference in winnings.
I agree.
They have 84 points. They have scored 144 goals, but have only allowed 115 goals, just 2 more than the Black Bears. The Danbury Hat-Tricks are fifth in the Empire Division with a 19-22-5 record and 58 points. They are 11 points
behind.
They are 11 points behind the Blue Ridge Bobcats in the division and only have 10 games remaining to try to make it to the playoffs for the 25-26 season. They have scored 156 goals and allowed 172 tallies to their opponents.
Now,
this season... go ahead.
Well, what I was going to say here, if you think about it, right, we're talking about first, second, and then fifth place, separated by 20 wins between first and seventh place in this division. It's crazy.
That's crazy.
It is.
This season, the Black Bears are 5-1 versus the Prowlers with 2 more games to be played in the regular season series. The Black Bears' only loss to the Prowlers was on November 1st, a 4-1 in Port Huron. Against the Hat-Tricks this season, the Black Bears are 10-0-1 with more games versus Danbury. The one loss came on February 28th at home, a 4-3 shootout loss. The biggest news story coming into Friday's game is the Prowlers losing 2 players for this key game due to suspensions. Reggie Millette was suspended by the league for 3 games for an aggressor penalty, and Brian Parsons was suspended by the league for 1 game for his actions in the same game last Saturday.
Okay, so obviously this is where we got to stop and talk for a second. Obviously, Reggie Millette, got an aggressor penalty. He was fighting someone who clearly did not want to fight. Gets the 3 games. It's kind of like it's weird. Like, I want the Black Bears to beat the Prowlers at their best, but at the same time, I have this weird thing. Like, the only 2 games I care about them 100% winning are the 2 games against the Port Huron Prowlers. But I know if they don't beat the Prowlers in either one of those 2 games, I know the Black Bears are okay. I know the Black Bears will go back, look at videotape, figure out what they need to do to fix that. So if they meet them in the playoffs, they don't have to worry about it. But what I worry about these games against Port Huron is that Port Huron tries to do something to hurt Black Bears players. It is their MO. It is what they've kind of like accumulated throughout the season, is going, I don't want to say headhunting because that's the horrible term, but in the sense of, yes, we're going to come at you and we're going to try to hurt you. And then we're going to turn around and do an interview or run a promotional video saying we're just sticking up for our teammates, which is really horrible. Okay. So having Reggie out and Brian Parsons out, Brian Parsons, what he did deserved 10 games. What he did was really bad. He took a guy who didn't have a helmet on and slammed his head down into the ice and cut his head open. Okay. He should not have just gotten 1 game. The league was wrong in that sense, but I'm glad he's out for this game upcoming against Friday, even though I really want to beat them when they're full 100%. But I'm okay with the 2 guys who I feel like are risks to players' safety on the ice being out of this game.
I definitely agree with that. It would be, nice to see the Black Bears just beat them with, 100% of their team. On the other side of that, I'm kind of glad that Reggie's not going to be in the lineup because I don't have to listen to booing the entire night.
Oh, that's true, too. That's a good thing, too. That is a very good thing.
But, yeah, I definitely agree with the video promotion thing that Parsons did. That was, in my own opinion, was just ridiculous. If anybody besides the Port Huron Prowler fans, because for some reason they think that what they were doing was justified and perfectly okay in this world, But for anybody else watching that video and seeing what Parsons did, it was uncalled for. It had nothing to do with the play. The whistle was blown. He dragged a guy to a different corner who wasn't even involved.
Yeah.
And you're going to sit there and say that you were sticking up for your own team. Nothing happened to your team. Literally nothing. Brockway came in, he laid a hit, and the whistle was blown. The arm on the ref went up, the whistle was blown, and your guys came flying in, and Reggie beat up a guy who wasn't willing to fight him. And then you take a guy to a different corner and you slam him to the ice with no helmet on. That's just that is absolutely dirty, in my opinion.
Yeah.
To me, it's intent to injure for 100%. I mean, the guy left the ice bleeding.
Yeah.
No team in this league, especially this league, should ever have to worry about facing another team and leaving the ice with their head bleeding because somebody slammed them down to be a jerk.
Yeah, and doing it without his helmet on and not helping him. Like what you do is when a guy goes down, and Scotty Romaker's kind of explained it to us, right? When a guy goes down and he doesn't have his helmet on for any reason, or even if he does have his helmet on, you grab him by the jersey to kind of like limit the blow to the ice for that person. Even if his head isn't going to hit, you still don't want his shoulder. You don't want to dislocate his shoulder or something like that. And it didn't seem like Parsons really gave a damn. And that's too bad. So I'm kind of glad he's out of this game.
Yeah, I think everybody else would be too. I mean, was it before where if you were suspended, you couldn't travel with the team? Is that a thing still, or is that not a thing?
No, he can travel with the team because if Parsons, when the Friday game is over with, Parsons will be able to play the next game. And I believe they play Watertown in Watertown on Saturday night. So no, Parsons would be eligible, so he can travel with the team and be with the team. Matter of fact, he could just be in the stands watching the game. He could be down in the corner watching the game. That's not a big deal. He can actually go into the
it might be a big deal if he's down there in that corner, because I can only imagine the amount of chirping that's going to happen.
I don't think Parsons would get the chirping. Definitely Reggie.
Parsons the reason that anytime Port Huron's in town, he's the one that goes after Frank. And like Frank has been watching himself this season because he's gotten in trouble because of other people.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't even say anything anymore. But Parsons the one that goes out of his way every time Port Huron is here to say something to Frank or do something to Frank. So yeah, Parsons definitely has no issues chirping, but he only does it when he's on the ice, and when he goes through the tunnel, it's usually probably pretty quick.
All right. So the Prowlers are led by Alex Johnson with 44 games played, 9 goals, 34 assists, and 43 points. He's only got 4 power play goals and 3 game-winning goals. Matt Graham has got 44 games played, 16 goals, 26 assists for 42 points and 6 power play goals and 6 game-winning goals. Bobby Price, 36 games played, 19 goals, 18 assists for 37 points, 4 power play goals, 2 shorthanded goals, and 4 game-winning goals. And I'll say this flat out right now, Bobby Price is being wasted on that team because they don't play to score a lot of goals. They play to be dirty, and Bobby Price isn't that kind of player. That's number one. Reed Cooper, 22, 8-1 with a 2.24 goals against average and a 929 save percentage and 3 shutouts. Also probably on the wrong team because he's a really good player, and they don't play the style of hockey that's going to help him all that much. Now, the hat tricks are led by Anton Rubtsov. 36 games played, 19 goals, 19 assists for 38 points, 2 power play goals, 1 game-winning goal, 1 shorthanded goal, 3 game-winning goals. Eli Rivers, 43 games played, 17-18 for 35 points, 2 power play goals, and 2 game-winning goals. He spent most of his time with PD this season. And then you have Konstantin Chernuk, 42 games played, 5 goals, 22 assists, 27 points, 2 power play goals. He played a lot of his time with Watertown, and I think he got traded to PD and then sent up to Danbury as well. And I do believe probably on Saturday night, we'll probably see Sebastian Razar, who's returned to the Danbury Hat Tricks. He's 7-6-2 with a 3.54 goals against average and a 918 save percentage. Now, if you add up all the numbers for all of those players, they almost equate to the Black Bears and who they're led by, which is...
I got to stop you for just a second because I wanted to make this comment after seeing his name on this list.
Yeah.
With all the talks about the goalies and the trading and the this and that, I was somebody that I had spoke to earlier this week, and I won't indulge who. We were talking about goalies, and this person just said, I'm so glad that we didn't trade for Razar.
Really? Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Well, I just thought it was funny because, we've talked about Razar and, kind of losing his head against, the Black Bear. So there was just kind of like their funny joke about, at least we didn't trade for Razar.
No, that's a very good point. And Razar, anyways, I don't think he's somebody that is on Brant Sherwood's radar, right? You know what I mean? I don't think that's anybody that I think he thinks about. Okay. So again, if you add up all the numbers, the number ones and the number twos and the number threes, they don't even add up to the Black Bears players from the other two teams. That's the crazy part here. CJ Stubbs, 44 games played, 35 goals, 49 assists for 84 points. Now, Taylor, we have 10 games left. He is scoring points at 1.9 per game. He could legit be the first player in Black Bears history to hit 100 points. So we need to be watching out for that. He's got 12 power play goals, 3 shorthanded goals, and 8 game-winning goals. To me, he is the MVP of this league right now as we're talking. Okay, Ivan Bondarenko, which for some reason I put a V in there instead of a B. Whatever. 46 games played, 14 goals, 67 assists for 81 points. He needs one more assist to break the all-time season for assists record, which Kyle Powell holds. So we'll be watching that on Friday night against the Port Huron Prowlers. 1 power play goal, 1 shorthanded goal for Yvonne. Gavin Yates, 38 games played, 24 goals, 34 assists for 58 points, 8 power play goals and 2 game-winning goals. And then Dominic Tomei, 23, 2, and 1 with a 2.1 goals against average and a 923 save percentage. Probably goalie of the year, in my opinion, at this point right there. So I think CJ and Dom have a good chance at winning the goalie of the year and MVP. But we know how the league goes. Brant Sherwood has not been coach of the year, and he's won 2 championships. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think that's just kind of biased towards Brant because, I mean, McAnanama got it last year with the MVP and Yates had it the year before. So we might be all right in that department. I think they really just want to snub Brant, which is silly. Especially if we come into this one and, they win it a third time, absolutely silly if they don't give it to him this year.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so Binghamton's power play is ranked first, 69 power play goals, 27%. PK is ranked first, 27 power play goals against and 88%. Now, I will say the Black Bears and the Columbus River Dragons are tied for first place on the power play. They also are 27%. We've scored more power play goals. They have done it in less amount of power play chances. Okay, so there is that there. But Columbus is the first team in about 3 months to catch the Black Bears when it comes to the power play. Now, Port Huron's power play is 11th with 39 power play goals and a 14% conversion rate. On the penalty kill, they are ranked 3rd with 36 power play goals against and an 85% kill rate. Danbury is ranked 12th on the power play with 29 power play goals and a 14% conversion rate. And on the PK, they are ranked 5th on the power play with 37 power play goals against and an 83% kill rate. It is amazing how the two teams we're playing against are very similar special team-wise.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking at these numbers, and it's crazy how close they are.
Yeah.